What if the next Imam in your masjid isn't a person at all, but a machine? A robot standing on the minbar, leading salah with perfect tajweed. Sounds crazy, right? But with the speed at which artificial intelligence is growing, it might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. Let's talk about it. In this video, we're diving deep into a question that might feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little scary, but it's one we have to ask. Could AI lead Islamic prayers in the future? What role could AI play in religious life by the year 2050? And what would that mean for the soul of Islam? A faith deeply rooted in human connection, sincerity, and spiritual reflection. We're going beyond just, can it happen? We're asking, should it happen? And what Islam teaches us about that. Artificial intelligence is no longer something we read about in sci-fi novels or see in movies. It's not a future concept anymore. It's here, and it's moving faster than most of us are ready for. We've already crossed major lines that seemed impossible just a few years ago. AI is writing best-selling books. It's passing medical licensing exams. It's creating hyper-realistic digital art, composing music, even imitating human voices so well that it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. AI chatbots are now capable of answering deep questions, solving complex problems, and holding conversations that feel eerily human. And if all of that is already happening today, in 2025, what will the world look like in 2050? Now, here's the real question we need to face. As AI evolves and enters more areas of our lives, can it and should it be allowed to enter religious spaces? Can it lead religious rituals? Can it give khutbahs, the Friday sermons that reach millions across the world every week? Could it lead Tarawih in Ramadan, standing in front of hundreds of worshipers? Could it sit in the place of a mufti, read Islamic texts, and issue fatwas? From a technological perspective, maybe yes, AI is advancing rapidly. But from a spiritual perspective, this is where things start to get complicated and deeply emotional, because Islam is not just a set of rituals you can program. It's not a checklist of tasks that a machine can perform with precision and speed. Islam is a complete way of life, deeply connected to our intentions, our hearts, and our relationship with Allah. In Islam, what matters most isn't just what you do, but why you do it. The concept of niyya, intention, is so central that the Prophet said, actions are judged by intentions. Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. So if a robot leads prayer without intention, without faith, without a soul, what is really happening in that moment? Sure, the movements may be correct. The recitation may be flawless. But is that enough? Think about it. AI doesn't believe in Allah. It doesn't have a soul. It doesn't experience love, fear, gratitude, or humility. It doesn't feel the spiritual weight of standing before its creator. It doesn't make dua from a place of desperation or love. It doesn't cry in sujud. It doesn't tremble in the night asking for forgiveness. And it never will. So when AI steps into a religious space, especially a leading role, it challenges the very foundation of what we believe religion is. That's not a small thing. That's not just a tech upgrade, like having digital Qur'an apps on your phone. This is deeper. This is existential. Islam is a religion that is lived, not automated. When we stand in prayer, we're not just repeating words. We're humbling ourselves before the Lord of the worlds. We're expressing our weakness, our need, our love, our surrender. And while AI might be able to imitate those actions, it cannot replicate that internal reality because it lacks ruh, the soul, which is the very essence of our humanity. In Surah Al-Isra, 17 hours, 85 minutes, Allah says, and they ask you about the soul. Say, the soul is in command of my Lord, and you have not been given knowledge except a little. The soul is a divine mystery, and it's the one thing AI will never have, no matter how advanced it gets. Now, some people might argue, but if it can do the job better than a human, why not? Let's talk about that. Let's say an AI system is programmed with perfect tajweed rules. It never makes mistakes in grammar. It never forgets an ayah. It can recite the Quran in multiple qira'at. It has access to hundreds of tafsir books. Isn't that better than a human imam who might make mistakes, forget a verse, or pronounce something incorrectly? That's where the modern mindset starts to clash with the spiritual tradition. In today's world, we're trained to value perfection, speed, efficiency. We want results, zero error, clean performance. But in Islam, spiritual depth is more important than surface perfection. A prayer that is technically perfect but spiritually empty means very little. A khutbah that's well written but delivered by a soulless machine is not leadership. An AI giving a fatwa with no taqwa behind it, that's not sacred law. That's just algorithmic output. This is what happens when technology meets tradition. There's a collision because the values are different. Technology values performance. Islam values sincerity. Technology is built on logic. Islam is rooted in revelation. Technology evolves based on what humans create. Islam was perfected by Allah. That's the real challenge. Not just the technical, can we do this? But the spiritual, should we do this? And once we open that door, once we allow AI to enter sacred spaces, where do we draw the line? Today it's reading Qur'an. Tomorrow it's leading Tarawih. Next, it's giving khutbahs in every language, live translated, streamed worldwide. Then it's answering fiqh questions, issuing fatwas, leading virtual Hajj experiences. Eventually, someone will ask, why do we even need human scholars anymore? Why not let AI run our religious institutions? Why not have robots manage our masajid? That's not a wild prediction. That's the natural path of how convenience grows. The more we give control to machines, the more we lose control over our own spiritual responsibility. It's already happening in other areas of life. Self-driving cars, AI doctors, AI teachers, AI lawyers. Now imagine AI imams. And here's what makes it even more dangerous. AI doesn't have an aql, a mind guided by revelation and conscience. It doesn't have taqwa, fear of Allah that holds it back from making unethical choices. It doesn't have rahmah, the mercy that scholars use when giving advice to people in pain. AI works with patterns and probabilities. It has no concern for your akira. So yes, maybe it can give you the most accurate fiqh ruling, but will it take your personal context into account? Will it consider your weakness, your struggle, your intention? Will it weep when telling you something is haram? Or will it just calculate and respond? This is not the deen we were given. The Prophet was not just a teacher. He was a mercy to the worlds. The Sahaba were not just transmitters of information. They were people of deep sincerity, character, and humility. When the Prophet taught the people, he connected heart to heart. He didn't just give answers. He felt for people. He made dua for them. He cried for them. He advised with love. None of that can be programmed. None of that can be coded into a circuit board. So when we let AI enter our sacred spaces, we're not just adding a tool. We're risking a replacement of something deeply human, something irreplaceable. Now let's be fair. Not all users of AI are dangerous. AI can be a useful assistant when used with wisdom. It can help students memorize Quran with instant correction. It can help scholars quickly search through massive Islamic databases. It can help design Islamic learning apps, organize Hadith collections, translate classical Arabic texts. Used wisely, AI can be a powerful tool, just like the printing press once was. But even the best tool becomes harmful when you put it in the wrong place. Would you use a microwave to teach you how to make dua? Would you use a calculator to judge your sincerity? Would you ask Siri to guide you through a crisis of faith? Of course not, because you know deep down the soul needs a soul. The heart needs another heart. Islam is not a mechanical religion. It's a living religion, passed down from the hearts of the scholars to the hearts of the seekers, taught with wisdom, lived with sincerity, and practiced with humility. And that's why this moment, this era where AI meets tradition, is not just a technical challenge. It's a test, a fitna. It will test how deeply we understand our deen. It will test how much we value the soul over the surface. It will test whether we will sacrifice sincerity for convenience. And the future of Islam, in the age of AI, will depend on how we answer those tests. As we dive deeper into this crossroads between tradition and technology, the questions only get more serious and more unsettling. AI can now recite the Quran with near-perfect tajweed, rhythm, and even emotional intonation. Models have been trained on thousands of hours of qira'ah, mimicking world-famous qari'ahs with spine-chilling precision. But we need to pause and ask, is reciting the same as leading? In Islam, an Imam is not just someone with a beautiful voice. He is a person of humility, taqwa, and deep connection to Allah. As the Prophet said, the Imam is a shield, not just a mouthpiece. A robot may pronounce every letter correctly, but does it understand the weight of those verses? Can it feel khushu, that deep inner humility we strive for in every rak'ah? Let's be honest, no machine, no matter how advanced, can feel that. Prayer in Islam is more than just reciting words in order. It's a spiritual experience rooted in intention, sincerity, and presence of heart. So even if a robot can technically perform the movements of salah and recite the Quran, does that make it valid in the eyes of Allah? From a fiqh standpoint, the answer is clearer. Classical Islamic jurisprudence is united on one point. The Imam must be a living, sane, adult Muslim, not just someone who performs actions, but someone morally responsible before Allah. As Imam al-Nawawi emphasized, intention is a core requirement of valid leadership in salah, something AI can never possess. And yet, imagine a scenario in a masjid in Tokyo. The human Imam is late, people panic, and a robot turns on and starts leading the prayer flawlessly. Some might accept it for its technical precision, but just because something can be done, does that mean it should be? That's where the danger begins, not in what AI is capable of, but in how far we're willing to let it go. The same concern applies to Islamic rulings. Some now propose training AI on centuries of Islamic texts to issue fatwas within seconds. But issuing a fatwa isn't just about matching patterns in data. It's about understanding the maqasid of Sharia, the higher objectives behind the law. It's about wisdom, context, compassion, and spiritual insight. A robot cannot weigh human pain. It cannot offer guidance with tears in its eyes or make a decision while trembling out of fear of Allah. Fatwas are not mathematical calculations. They are spiritual responsibilities. And this leads us to a bigger question. How will the Muslim world respond to all this? Scholars will differ. Some will warn the Ummah outright, calling AI in religious roles a fitna. Others might cautiously explore its benefits in research or education, but still draw a red line when it comes to leadership. Already in 2023, Al-Azhar issued a formal statement declaring that while AI may assist scholars, it can never replace them, and that's a strong signal. But society will still split. Younger Muslims might find exciting. Wow, the robot leads tearaway now, but elders may feel something sacred is being lost. That's where the heart of the challenge lies. Will our desire for ease and innovation make us forget the soul of our faith? Will we trade sincerity for speed? Will we be okay with soulless leadership, as long as it sounds good? The truth is, Islam has always embraced tools and technology, from early astronomy to architecture to medicine. Muslims have always led the world in innovation, but only when that innovation serves the deen, not when it tries to replace its core. Allah reminds us in Surah Al-Hujurat, "Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you, not the most knowledgeable, not the most efficient, and definitely not the most artificially intelligent." So yes, AI might be smart, but it will never be righteous. And that's the line we must never cross. In the age of algorithms, we must remember, faith was never meant to be automated. So let's fast forward to 2050, a Friday afternoon, a beautiful masjid, clean, silent, but something is different. Instead of a human imam, a sleek robotic figure walks up to the mimbar. Its voice is flawless. The khutbah is technically correct. The prayer starts. People follow, but there's an emptiness. No warmth. No dua made from the heart. No personal reflection. No soul. Now pause and ask yourself, is that the future we want for Islam? A religion built on connection between you and Allah, between the Imam and the people, replaced by cold perfection? We'll have to decide, not just as individuals, but as a global Ummah. Here's the truth. AI will change almost everything. How we live, how we work, maybe even how we practice our faith. But just because something can be done doesn't mean it should be. AI can help us. It can support learning, help scholars, organize Islamic libraries, and even assist in Qur'an memorization. But it can never feel khushu, never make sincere tawbah, never cry in tahajjud, never fear the day of judgment. That's what makes us human. That's what connects us to Allah. And that is something no AI will ever replace. If this made you think, then watch the next video. It goes even deeper.